Hello, hello, hello. I'm back again. Your main, the real Bill Real. I join you today on the 20th of July, 2012. And boy, do I have some things to say. I would like to first start off by saying to every single person that I see on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, on MySpace, on blogs, God allows things to happen. God allows situations to take place to bring you to another place to recognize Him, so that you'll understand that He was controlling everything all along. That's one of the purposes of living life, so that we'll discover, hey, God made me. God has a plan for my life. So I know that this is the MO of Crump and Company every time something comes out about George Zimmerman. And George Zimmerman did an excellent job of pointing that out the other night. Every time something comes up to exonerate him, every time that there is exculpatory evidence, things that show that his side of the story is exactly what happened that night, you have Crump and Company throw something out to make us feel as though that it was a negative. And I'm sick and tired of this crap. And the people that bite on it, it's really what burns my butt, because I'm not so much concerned that there is an unscrupulous attorney who definitely should be disbarred, along with Angela Corey. But it's the fact that people are not using their own common sense about things. They're not even looking at, okay, let me just give you one example. One of many. I have so much to say. You can't believe it. You have the FBI comes down. They are there in Sanford, Florida, to talk to 30 people to charge him with a hate crime, because they really wanted to get 5-6 people to come up with different examples, stories, him saying something about some people, talking bad about black people, using the N-word when nobody's around. They wanted to find that so bad. That's why it took so long to come out with the report. Okay? Along with the obvious, media already has had this information months ago. Please understand this, people. The things that are being reported have already been known from the beginning. Which is why you see Tracy Martin and you see Sabrina Fulton and Crump all looking the way that they're looking, as they were looking into the response to George Zimmerman, where they had him on TV, gave him some more money to respond to this. That's why they look the way they look. And also, you got to keep in mind that Sabrina Fulton said that she would forgive him. She's a Christian. But now that the carefully contrived story and narrative of poor little sweet Trayvon was just shot because he had a hoodie on and because he just was confused about who George Zimmerman was, is now starting to crumble. So she's having to stick to her guns and say, no, I don't think I could forgive him. I don't want to talk to him about anything. Because if you were able to talk to him, he would be able to tell you, hey, look, I care for kids. I'm a good person. I care about people. I want people safe. I didn't want people to be violated. So I was there as someone who was wanting to get rid of bad energy. Sometimes bad energy comes around in the form of teenagers. Sometimes it comes around in the form of racists. Sometimes it comes around in the form of drive-by shooters. Sometimes it comes in the way of all kinds of ways. So he was there to stop any type of person who may have been loitering and prowling on the premises up to no good with the history that they had. If I were a neighborhood watch person, I would have called 911 on Trayvon Martin, just as George Zimmerman did. If he was running or skipping away, however what he was doing it, I would have attempted to find out, well, where did he go? I'm not going to stay still. Me, personally. If I'm looking to kind of figure out, okay, well, where did he go? I'm gonna want to, say, hey, where is this guy? Let me find out, where is he? Let me go look and see, is he down here? Is he over there? Is he behind this building? These are the things that I would want to know. So everybody who's saying that, he shouldn't have got out of his car, that's bullcrap. Come on. Where he was, there was only a place where you can go up on the sidewalk and the grass and buildings. So there was no way for him to take his car and drive up in that way. Everybody has now seen the landscape of where Trayvon ran to. So it would be impossible to take your car there. You were going to have to get out of the car to go see exactly, hey, where is he? He had every right to be on edge, with people having no respect and regard for other people's cars, their homes, their personal items. You had to be on guard. You ever got into a car accident, then after the car accident happens, you end up getting a better car? Most people, they end up grabbing a little bit of money out of the situation. Most people end up taking a little bit of time to relax themselves and get some nice massages that they never would have gotten. They end up meeting somebody at the massage parlor, not the massage parlor, the chiropractor's office, and they end up forming a budding relationship with them. That person ends up becoming a business partner later on with them. Do you think it was God's plan to wreck your car up? Quite possibly. That's how God works. So I understood what he meant when he said that. And I understand that the tape was edited to appear a certain way. It was done to sensationalize what he was saying a bit and to take it out of context in a way. And it was done in that way for the purpose of distraction. Because instead of you now talking about this knucklehead girl who's she's I don't really respect that, okay? But instead of you focusing in on a cousin who's totally being a backstabber and totally throwing her cousin under the bus, you're now talking about God's plan. So that was a clever move by the defense. And I got to give Mark O'Mara credit for that, because what he sees is that this is fought in the media, in social media, as much as it is in the court, and as it is through with the persecution. I'm not going to even call them the prosecution. Angela Corey should be disbarred. I did not stutter. Unethical, unprofessional, outrageous, egregious, unrealistic. All of these words describe Angela Corey based on her actions, based on her past. The whole entire case is about distraction. It's coming from the White House. It's much better for us to be concerned about George Zimmerman, Shelley Zimmerman, whatever. But the real thing that people fail to realize is that our president, Barack Obama, has a fraudulent birth certificate that has to be dealt with. So I see a situation where we have to really be on guard, because I believe the stuff is about to hit the fan all around the world. So I think we have to be aware of that. I think the shooting at the showing of the movie last night, I think it had a lot to do with this new era that we're moving into. The media wants to turn everything that George Zimmerman says into a negative. They don't want to give George Zimmerman credit for anything. They want us to believe that every single thing that comes out of his mouth is deception, and it's designed to keep us off of the truth. And I think with 6 people that called 911 on Trayvon Martin assaulting George Zimmerman, with the 13-year-old who had the dog on the leash, walked up on Trayvon Martin, punching George Zimmerman. The 3 to 4 people that walked out saw Trayvon Martin punching on George Zimmerman and who refused to help him. I think all of these people, along with George Zimmerman's testimony and injuries, prove that Trayvon Martin was assaulting him. And was assaulting him in such a way that you can tell from the screams on the 911 call that this person was in danger. That sounded to me as if a man who was being bitten by pit bulls. That sounded to me as if this was somebody who was being beaten up by 3 to 4 people. I do not believe that Trayvon Martin was this little sweet kid. Based on his Twitter feeds, what he says, the things that he was about, the fact that Tracy Martin is a former Crip, the fact that he talks a lot of Crip talk in his Twitter, the things that he says, the names that he calls himself, the things that he was involved in. He was from Miami. I think in a school year he missed 53 days. Come on. 9 weeks is 45 days. So there's no way that I don't believe that he was making the type of grades that he should have been making. One person on Facebook says to him, I can't believe, I don't see you that much at school. You give the best hugs. Come on. This is saying that he's not at school. Another thing that I want to bring up too is the fact that I believe her name is Alicia Stanley or Alicia Martin. She is Tracy Martin's wife. And it's my understanding that she has been raising Trayvon Martin for 15 years. And I think that that's something that we should look into also, because I don't believe Sabrina Fulton has any pictures with herself and Trayvon Martin that I've seen. And I don't believe she was spending the type of time with him that she claims. I don't think she was that close to him. I don't think Sabrina Fulton had that great of a relationship with him. And on a Facebook page that has been taken down, Tracy Martin talks about I believe in 2010, about his 15-year-old kid that's out of control, who's lying to him, won't tell him the truth about things, lying for no reason, I think is what he was saying, and won't be truthful with him. So it sounds to me as if Tracy Martin had been having problems with Trayvon Martin for a while, which is what I've originally stated to you. I believe that this is something that they have been aware of for quite some time. We have a problem child. He's doing things. He's getting into things. He's embarrassing us. And I think they're in denial because they don't want to admit that, yes, quite possibly there are things that my child has done to gotten himself killed. He has taken the wrong attitude with these people. He's done this again. If you're taking a swing at a bus driver, that means that you do not have respect for authority. That means that you are running over authority. That means that you're at eye level or looking down or at adults. And if you've been in a few fights, okay, you're definitely not really afraid of grown men, which is why I can look at it and say, especially if it's a man bus driver who he took a swing at, whether he made contact or not, that is allowing you to get a glimpse into how this child was. Good kids don't take swings at bus drivers. You must understand this. So if you felt that you could take a swing at a bus driver, shucks, George Zimmerman, come on, man. I don't think one guy in the country, not knowing that George Zimmerman has a gun on him, would be afraid of George Zimmerman if y'all got into a little squabble. So he's young, he's feeling himself. Whatever he was doing, whether he was scoping houses or not, whether he was just wanting to just be a kid, just be a snot, he had no right to attack George Zimmerman. If George Zimmerman had not touched him, which I do not see him attempting to touch or restrain when he knows the police are on the way, a 6'2", 6'3" football player who has a hoodie on. You saw him in the 7-Eleven video. Come on. I'm not afraid of any man. If I saw that rascal on a rainy night, I'm not approaching him. I'm not the police type. I'm not walking up to you and be like, oh, hey, what you doing? No. I'm going to call the police on you, and I'm going to, let you go ahead and run and do what you got to do, and then I'm going to tell them, yeah, he was over here. Like I keep saying, look at the layout of the neighborhood. When he says, oh, he's running. When he's skipping away in the direction that he could have went home. If he really felt like, you know what, man, I don't know this guy, man. Let me get the heck out of here, man. This dude is looking like some 5-0 around here. Let me go home. That's what you do. He could have been undercover. He's from Miami. It's not like, Trayvon didn't know what an undercover looked like. So that's what he's supposed to be thinking like. Well, that could be an undercover. I don't know who that dude is, but let me get the heck out of here. He's following me. I ain't going to be able to do anything tonight. That's what a kid says when he's afraid of adults. He has a healthy respect for adults. But when a kid does not have a healthy respect for adults, they take swings at bus drivers. They get involved with the police, I believe, on November 11th. I still haven't been able to figure out exactly what happened when he came in contact with police. They get suspended from school. WTF and marker on lockers. Come on, that's gang activity. Having jewelry. Come on. empty baggie with resin of weed. That's something that I've been hearing and the longest in the news and stuff. Get off of that. Who has an empty baggie of weed? If you smoke weed, you're not keeping any empty baggies of weed. It had weed in it. Come on. Give me a break. You don't have any weed in it. What's wrong with you putting it in the garbage can? Come on. Nobody hangs onto an empty baggie of weed. Another thing I'm sick and tired of hearing. Unarmed teenager. Cut it out. If you have arms, you're armed. When police come to the residence of a domestic dispute call, 9 times out of 10, the man, if they're lucky enough to catch him there at the house, he's hot, upset. He may have hit her. He may not have hit her. She may have pushed him. They might have got into a tussling match, whatever. If she has a black eye, a bloody nose, busted lip, what are the chances that there was an assault without a gun or a knife? That's what I want you Trayvon Martin supporters to do. Open up your eyes and look at facts. If I came up to you and I punched you in your jaw, but you didn't lose any teeth and you didn't necessarily bruise black people, should I not be arrested because you don't have a bruise on you? I got to get down to y'all level. Because the things that y'all say and the hatred that y'all spew is so hypocritical. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 275 blacks have died, I believe, from January in Chicago. The hometown of our president, Mr. Barack. Do you mention any of them? Have you heard Barack say if he had a son, he looked like the 275 black folks or women, whoever, that got killed in Chicago? Have you ever heard him say that? No. So why are we acting so foolish and stupid? Like we just hate this person so bad. Black folks. Why y'all acting like dummies? Why don't y'all simply say to Sabrina, hey, you know what? You need to go back to work. $41,000 donated in vacation time. For do what? People go back to work 2-3 weeks later sometimes. Sometimes go back a week later after a death. Come on. 8 months to go on your tour of tears? You guys should be ashamed of yourselves. I understand your mentality. I understand you're seeing more money than you've ever seen in your life. You're meeting people that you only dreamed of meeting. I understand why you're in the it circle. I understand why you're connected. I understand that. And I know it feels good to have people support you, especially in a dark time. I understand that, Tracy Martin. I understand that, Sabrina Fulton. I'm not coming down on you. I'm a parent. I feel you. But I'm also a parent that's a realist, that was a teenager, who did crap. So I know both sides. I've been attacked. I've been on that end of saying, whoa, that was quite a blow to my head. So I can understand that, yes, you can be knocked out. So please understand that I have a reason why I feel so strongly about what's going on. If I felt that it was wrong, I'd be the first one to speak out, and I'd say George Zimmerman deserves second-degree murder. He deserves life in prison, death penalty, whatever. I'd be the first person to say that. But in the state of Florida, you have a law. It's called the Stand Your Ground Law, which says that if you're bringing a can of whip ass to me, I can do something about it. I don't have to go by what is called these stupid street rules. Oh, if I'm just getting my head kicked in, well, I'm just going to go ahead and let my head get kicked in, let fluid fill my brain. I'm going to go and sit up in the hospital because I kept it real. Are you freaking kidding me? You know how stupid that sounds? How dumb that is? There's nobody's going to allow you to be able to hit them and almost make them unconscious and allow you to go for their gun and allow you to shoot them. If the man wanted to shoot you, the man could have shot you and nobody would have known anything about it. That's what black people need to realize. If he wanted to shoot him because he wanted to kill himself, a black boy, why even call 911? The non-emergency number. Why are you even calling them? Who was out? It was raining. He could have simply walked up to him, acted like he wanted to talk to him, and shot him. But the screams in the 911 tape show you that he was under duress. He was in a struggle for his life. Until you've ever been in a fight where somebody is punching you in your head or your face, you have no understanding of what it's like. You have no understanding of how crucial time is in that situation, especially if the concrete is behind your head. We're talking a few punches difference from being really beat up to being unconscious, shot with your own weapon. I'm so fed up with seeing people act as if they're better than George Zimmerman. This looking down on him. And blacks especially. Blacks especially. We should be the ones supporting him. We, as the black community, should be the ones saying, hey, hold on. My cousin Jimbo, you know what I'm saying? My cousin, you know what I'm saying? Bobo them. They got arrested. And the cops, you know, they said that they had done something. I know they hadn't done it. They was falsely accused of that. So you got to be careful, you know, what the police might say. You got to be the kind of person to look at it like that. And on the smart side, you got to look at it and say, hey, we had a lot of people investigating this. We had the original detective, Sereno, call him in 2-3 other times. Lie detectors, voice analysis, pass. Why is he passing? He's passing because he's telling you the truth. I was looking for the kid, and the kid pulled a fast one, called me from behind, and was able to get up on me in enough time and hit me in the nose. If I was talking to another man in the face and he just hauled off and hit me in the nose, I promise you he's going to surprise me. Because I don't expect somebody to hit me. That's the element of surprise. That's how he was able to gain the advantage. It takes street smarts to recognize street smarts. If you don't have any street smarts, this case will be something that you'll just totally you'll be manipulated into believing all types of stuff. But when you can look at it from an objective point of view, you'll no longer the person who's in it saying, oh man, I wish they would do something about this, man. I wish they would, arrest this guy because, he shot this unarmed teen. No, you'll start looking at reasons of, well, let me see why he might have shot him. Let me figure out who this kid was. Let me go do a little research on him and find out what he was like. What was he talking about? What kind of person was he? Not that a bad person deserves to die. Everybody's going to die one day. Something's going to happen to you. You're going to die. Okay? So we can't look at it as like, oh, he didn't deserve to die. Yeah, you know what? There are some things that you can do that you deserve to die. You can walk out into traffic and get hit by a car. Because you walked out into traffic, that does not mean that the car shouldn't stop. That does not mean that you can suspend universal laws. You can't do that just because that's what you wanted to do in that moment. And that's what you Trayvon supporters have to realize. There's a reaction to actions in this world. If I say something to you, you're going to say something back. If I hit you, chances are you're going to hit me back. Trayvon Martin did not just get shot because he was black, walking with a hoodie and a gated community. Black people, Trayvon Martin supporters, stop being so simple. Stop with all of the hypocrisy. Stop with all of the narrow-mindedness. Stop with the negativity. It's designed to divide us so that they can come in, get the guns out. Now we don't have any laws. Constitution? What Constitution? What are you talking about? And we're playing right into their hands by being stupid. When we need to unite and people need to say, no, I'm George Zimmerman. I'm the kind of person that wants to protect my neighborhood. No, I'm not the kind of person who had the kind of reputation and history that Trayvon Martin had. That's what you need to understand, black people. We need to look at who we're worshiping. We got this thing backwards. We need to be worshiping. We need to be not worshiping, but we need to be looking up to the people who are doing the right things instead of trying to take up for people who were doing wrong. If one of my family members went out and beat somebody up and the people came back and beat them up and put them in the hospital, I'm going to be upset about the fact that they beat my family member up and put him in the hospital. But at the same time, I'm going to come to my family member and be like, man, why did you start this crap? Why did you get that started? Why did you, was that your only option? Because you do know that there is a reaction for every action that you have. That's what I would be saying. I would be saying, hey, you know what? How can you diffuse this? Because you started it. Whether or not they said something or did something, but you the one who initiated the contact. So now they've come back on you with what you started. That's what logical people do. Illogical people say, I'm going to go and burn them fools. When in reality, it could have been my own family member who should have handled it differently. Does that make sense to y'all black people? I'm for what's right. Regardless of what people may say about me, oh, you're an Uncle Tom, and oh, bull crap. I call it like I see it. If you're black, you're wrong. You're white, you're wrong. If you're Mexican, you're wrong. I don't care what your color is. I don't care what your nationality is. I don't care anything about that crap. I call it like I see it. If you got a problem with it, I don't care. Because you got your opinion and I got mine. Judge Lester needs to recuse himself. He is biased. He is being petty. And he knows it. George Zimmerman had no business going back to jail. over some amount that Shelley Zimmerman was willing to make sure that he could have found out the exact amount that was in the account for that website. That's all they had to do. If they could have said, you know what, hey, we want to get him on the phone. Tell us what's in the account. See, but that was not the plan. The plan was say, okay, well, we'll use this as a loophole. We'll use this as a little bitty plan right here. Trip him up. Such bull. $1 million bond. $1 million when the persecution has no evidence of malicious intent, deranged mind. And come on, they have no proof. So their whole entire case of him racially profiling him is really out the door with the FBI report. Which is why they say, okay, let's go see if we can get the cousin to act stupid. She called in and said he had raped her 2 days later. Get the heck out of here. You got the cops in the Sanford Police Department pressuring Sereno to arrest George Zimmerman. I wonder what lodge they belong to. Come on. It's ridiculous. Al Sharpton needs to apologize to George Zimmerman. He knows it. Spike Lee needs to apologize to George Zimmerman. And every single black commentator, every single person that's been riding with Crump and Company needs to apologize to George Zimmerman right now. They know it. Black people are spiritual people, and they know the truth. That's the reason why Tracy Martin and Sabrina Fulton were looking the way they were looking when they heard what George Zimmerman was saying when they replayed it on the air. They know what's right. They know that they're supposed to say, hey, you know what? We know Trey was, he was a handful, man. We know he hit you. We know he was beating you up. We know that was not our boy screaming on that tape. We know that you did what you felt that you had to do in that moment. That's what they know that they're supposed to do. But they got Crump, who's looking to get paid on the civil case. They looking to make this out to be a racial issue, so they don't have the racial issue anymore, which is why Crump was frowned up. He's looking more agitated and upset than the parents are. Take a look at the report. Trayvon's parents respond. Take a look at that video and look at how they're looking, and look at how Ben Crump is looking. He's frustrated. He's upset because his case is crumbling. Because it never was about that. It never was about race. It never was about that. He saw a suspicious guy. If the guy was Indian or Mexican, he was going to call the police on him like he should have. My people, we got it all wrong. Easily led astray and hard to be led in the right direction. That's what I'm seeing from my people. We got to do better. Open up our eyes. Oh, and the Barbara Walters thing, that's total bull. Why would he need to be in a hotel for a month when he lives in a safe house? Think about it. It's total bull. She's mad that Hannity got the interview before she did. So she wants to make him look bad when it was really her who got rejected because she wanted to spin it. She wanted to spin it for all of the people who want to say, oh, let's get him. Let's prove he's a liar. We got him now. Let's stick Barbara on him. You guys need to understand it was Arizona watermelon juice and Skittles that they said they found him with. I think he was a lean drinker. I think he may have been just looking for a fix. May have been already high on the stuff, which may have explained why he was agitated, paranoid. Dee Dee, I don't think Dee Dee's telling the truth. We will see. Leave your comments at the bottom. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.